All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Shashank. I'm a data analyst working in the United States, and I am here to answer y'all's questions. So let's see what questions you guys have. Feel free to leave them in the chat. Usually what happens is as you guys leave questions, I'll answer them. If you want to just drop in, say hi, say where you're from usually. That's a great way to get the conversation started. It's always interesting to see how global this audience can get. I usually do this time because we're able to get a solid number of people from different parts of the world. Hey Shubham, hey Wei Hung. Great to see you guys. Doing well. I have an exciting video hopefully coming out tomorrow. JPM, hello, Rick. Great to meet everyone. Sweet, thanks for joining, guys. I'm just going to put this over here. I know you guys subscribe, but I want to make sure. So the majority of people who watch my videos don't subscribe. I just want to make sure people know that we're trying to hit 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we're on track to hit 100,000, as long as, the channel continues to function basically as it has been in the past. We'll have at least 100,000, but not sure about 150. That might be a bit of a stretch. So yeah, Bhushan, it's been a while. Thanks for joining. Hey, Morgan, Himanshu, great to see you again. Chandana, hello. Rishi, Ajay. Yo, my mom's from Chennai. Great city, really cool place. All right, so anyone that hasn't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As you guys have questions, feel free to leave them in the chat below and we can get to answering them. Mahesh, great to see you. Sweet, that's awesome to hear, JPM. Himanshu, please take my name. Yeah, I think I said it right. Let's see. Ambar Kumar, want to change my career from testing to data analyst. Can you suggest me the best data analyst course that would add weightage to my resume and at the same time provide with knowledge? Okay. So the best data analyst course. So what skills specifically do you want to work on? That would weigh heavily into my answer as to what I would recommend. Because as far as like a certification is concerned, I don't know. Oh, cool. We got a new subscriber. As far as certification is concerned, I'm not a big believer in companies recognizing certifications in this space. Now, of course, I could be wrong about that, but what I kind of see a certification as is it's a way to keep yourself accountable. So, for example, I'm Google TensorFlow certified. Basically, that means I took a course and passed a test, and Google says I know TensorFlow to some basic degree. Now, I've never had anyone actually bring that up in an interview ever ask me about it. Like I've had maybe I think 3 people ask me about it, and it's been I've had the certification for over a year now. But what the certification did is it gave me a very clear objective, learning objective, and I learned Google TensorFlow more quickly than I otherwise would have because I had some direction and an objective. So what specifically do you want to work on, Ambar? Whoa, we lost subscribers. What happened? Nestor Franklin Castillo Centurio. Hi, difference between Power BI and Tableau. One's owned by Microsoft, one's owned by Salesforce. More seriously, in my opinion, for all intents and purposes, they're effectively the same thing. They are a bit different in that in Power BI you can construct. You don't have to have like sheets to construct different. To construct different workbooks. Like in Tableau, everything has to be done in sheets. I would say Power BI is more flexible. There are more chart types, but I would say they're basically the same thing. Now, if you want to ask which one should you be learning, what I usually tell people is find the geographic market you want to work in. Say you want to work in New York City, right? And just go to a job board and start looking at all the BA and data analyst roles over there and see which one is more common. Like take a tally of it, right? And learn that one if you're trying to figure out which one to learn. So just a suggestion. All right, so let me make sure that Ambar didn't say anything. Okay. Girish. Hello. Sir, turning 30. Am I too late to change my job to be a data analyst? Not at all. We have a person on this channel who they are in their 50s and they're changing. It's never too late. I would say Yeah, yeah, I would say it's never too late. At the end of the day, the way I see it, right? Like what's happened in life has already happened, right? You might as well just go for it. And if you want to do something, your life is yours to own. Just go do it. You know, I don't think there's any such thing as like too late. Now, if you want to go do your bachelor's again, like I would say, for example, like if you got a bad grade in a bachelor's class, well, you can redo that. Well, I guess you could redo that class, but you can't get something taken off your report. So that being said, no, it's not at all too late. Highly, highly recommend it. Same question as Umbar, trying to change my career from a tester to a data analyst. What would be the ideal path to follow? Okay, so let me go ahead and get some resources available for you guys. So we'll put this over here. All right, so let's go to my YouTube. Oh, whoops. Let's go to my YouTube, and this will answer quite a few of y'all's questions. And then if I go to my channel, okay, so we got a couple of videos over here I want to show you guys. So, hey Smarth, doing really well. Okay, Natalie Zadrozna. I've been teaching myself Python, stats, data science, etc., trying to switch careers. What are the chances I can get considered for an internship? Most places require a degree in progress. You know what you might be able to do? You might be able to, I would say just apply anyways. I have seen people do like those internships that require a degree in progress while they, like after they've already like graduated and everything. So I would still apply if I were you, Natalie. That being said, if you finished your degree already, you could totally just apply for a job. You don't necessarily have to do an internship. Although an internship could be a good way to, jumpstart your way into the career. But if I were you, I would actually focus on going straight to the job. Is there any reason that you're not doing that right now? Bjorn, great to hear it. Great to hear it. Utkarsh Singh, can you suggest some SQL courses that include window functions, CTEs, triggers, etc.? So it's funny that you mentioned that. This isn't a SQL course, but I use what you're talking about. I don't use a trigger. I need to actually like have something with a trigger on it. So Utkarsh Singh, here you go. Real SQL problem where I use all of the stuff you mentioned, and then my SQL course actually has window functions. I do window functions in my SQL course. So if you want my SQL course, check it out over here somewhere. There we go. So we'll say best SQL course. So that's also for you, Utkarsh. Okay, Umber, I'd recommend Google Data Analyst Professional Certificate. Yeah, so sorry, JPM has the perfect suggestion. I don't know why that completely, I completely forgot about that. But yes, the Google Data Analyst Certificate is probably the best certificate out there for data analysts. My bad. I can't believe I actually forgot that. Naharika, hi sir, can you please share a great resume for a data analyst? I got you. So, what I recommend is my resume video over here. Craft a winning tech resume. So, Naharika, this is for you. That is my video on crafting the ultimate tech resume. So a pro tip for you guys, if you have any questions for me, feel free to go to my YouTube channel and just type in that word in the search bar. And usually I have a resource for it now. I have a resource for most things that people ask these days. Charitos Yanes. Hey friend, thanks so much for helping our dreams come true. Of course. I'm attending Python and Udemy with Jose Portija. Should I look next for a master's in order to get a job? Thanks again. So what type of job do you want? Do you want a job as a data analyst? Because if you want a job as a data analyst, you don't need a master's for sure. As a data scientist, a master's can be helpful. Shubham Das, can you make a video on how to connect and make a network with people on LinkedIn? Yeah, I could totally do that. Like just a general networking video, I think, because I don't know if I can make an entire video on just LinkedIn, but I could probably make a generalized like networking video. Okele, great to see you. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, back to the questions. Okay, Kish, doing a master's in data science and have to choose between cloud computing and machine learning. Don't have a strong technical background and feel like cloud computing is the safer option. Which is better for your career? Well, okay, the way I see it, here's what the way I see it. Between those two, if you want to do machine learning, and when you say machine learning, I'm guessing you mean like machine learning engineer. Between those two careers, I would probably say machine learning engineer requires a much stronger technical background because it can get really complicated productionalizing a lot of that stuff. Whereas with cloud computing, a lot of resources, because these cloud computing companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, are in very, very stiff competition with one another, they have a lot of resources available to help people learn and get themselves certified in these cloud computing resources. So I would say if the goal is to do it with the least amount of technical expertise possible between those two careers, cloud computing will probably get you there faster. As far as which is the safer option, I mean, I think they're both like very, very safe careers. Like they're not going anywhere, quite honestly. I mean, I guess cloud computing is quote unquote safer, but it also might be one of those careers where the supply starts to outstrip demand eventually because of how many people get into it. But that's kind of I'm just kind of shooting in the dark over there. That being said, cloud computing is probably easier to break into, but they're both great careers. So I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Umbar, okay, is machine learning mandatory? Okay, so I'll get back to that question. I thought that was a follow-up. All right, guys, let's keep subscribing. I want to see if we can get to 70,000 subscribers in this live stream. If we can do that, that'd be awesome. See, if it goes down like that, that's not going to help. Okay, let's see. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Let's see. Milan van Hostenberg. Cool name. What is the standard way you make dashboards in corporate? What tools are used for dashboards? Basically, every company I've seen, it's either Tableau or Power BI. Again, in the US. So in different countries, it might be a little bit different. Those are the standard tools to make dashboards. I've noticed something really funny. So I've noticed that some coworkers I have who became straight data scientists out of school, very, very intelligent people. But in data science, like in the master's degrees that they did, they weren't exposed to BI tools like Power BI and and Tableau. So they would actually use R Shiny and stuff like Streamlit, like Python Streamlit, Plotly, stuff like that for all of their visualizations. And now they're like learning Tableau and Power BI, and they see that honestly Tableau is way better than Python or R for a lot of visualizations because of the speed at which you can get to visualizations. Not for every situation, but for a lot of situations it's a lot better. So for example, you can't like programmatically create a dashboard in Python, in Tableau. But what I would say is the most common tools are Tableau and Power BI, followed by Python and R, although I wouldn't recommend dashboard building in Python and R. Like I've done it before, and you get a lot of control, but it takes you so long to get to a product that Tableau will like 95% get you the way there pretty quickly. So, Naveen Sambari. Hi, Shashank. Can you suggest me some websites where I can learn problem-solving skills for data analyst job? Yeah. So Naveen, best website. My YouTube channel. Every once in a while, I'll post a video like real SQL problem or exploratory data analysis, or I think I had another one over here. I'm pretty sure. But I have these videos where I do like SQL problems and stuff like that. So I think that I actually have the best or some of the best like problems that you can work on. Also, I did this partnership with DataCamp. I actually do like DataCamp a lot. If you want to sign up for DataCamp, then feel free to. So, DataCamp. The first lesson. Oh, well, okay, wait, let's see. I forgot it does this. The first lesson on DataCamp in any subject you want is free, and they offer a lot of practice problems as well. And they have an iPhone app and I think an Android app as well. That way you can check out what is going on, and you can practice on the go. So for example, if I was using it, what I would do is I would go ahead and do the lesson at home, and then, I go out and I meet friends, right? And usually I'm there before they are, and I have like 5 to 10 minutes to kill before they get there. You can just be on DataCamp doing SQL problems and Python problems and stuff like that. So I highly recommend the DataCamp app as well. Link in the description below if you're interested in supporting the channel or if you're interested in DataCamp at all. The first lesson is free for if you want to try it out. So Naveen, check out my channel and then check out DataCamp. Okay, so Kadisha, great to see you. Great to see you. How's it been? Hey, it's been a while, Shashank. Yes, it has. How is your journey to getting the data science position going? I think it's going pretty well, honestly. I've been talking to people at the company, and they're giving me some good tips and advice to get there. And hopefully we get there in a couple of months. Definitely really want to do it, and I'll put in the work to get there. But thank you so much for checking on me, and thank you so much for donating to the channel. Yeah, people like you are what help keep this channel going and growing. So thank you so much. All right, guys, let's keep that number going up. I want to see if we can get to 70,000 by the end of this live stream, which I'll have to end at 8:50 because I have a 9 o'clock meeting. Okay, trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Do you know how to speak Hindi? I actually do not. What's this stop for? Oh, high five. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Nordstrom is awesome. I would say Nordstrom it doesn't pay the highest. So it pays well, but it doesn't pay like the highest. But at the same time, work-life balance is really, really solid. Coworkers are awesome. And I would say the biggest thing about Nordstrom is that the total compensation package is not amazing. That's probably the best thing, or that's probably the best way to describe it. Like, actually, the base pay is solid. It's the if you were to go work at like Amazon or Microsoft or something, you would get stock. With Nordstrom, we have an employee stock purchase program, which is it allows you to purchase stock at a 10% discount. But if you've seen Nordstrom stock, it kind of goes all over the place. It's not like Amazon or Microsoft, which is like a straight shot upwards. So I would say the base pay is awesome. The base pay is awesome. Signing bonus is awesome. I got a really nice signing bonus at Nordstrom. So yeah, signing bonus is awesome. Coworkers are really great. Work-life balance is solid. The company is going through all kinds of great transformations right now. I would say probably the only thing that is not as great as other companies in the Seattle area is the total compensation package, because bonuses just can't be as high and the stock just doesn't perform as well. So it doesn't do that. That's probably the only thing you're losing out versus like a major tech company, I'd say. But like, great company to work for. Can you suggest some website? Okay, Farzan Khan. Oh, hey, great to see you again. Hi, wanted to know your view on SaaS. I got an offer from a new company to work at SaaS. I use Python for all analyst work. I'll be honest, I haven't heard much great stuff about SaaS, to be 100% honest with you. I've never used it myself, but I've talked to a couple of data scientists who are kind of like, had they been in the industry for a while, or like a manager or two who have like done work in SaaS. I've never heard a great thing about it. So I would say, at the end of the day, people say tools don't matter. I disagree. I think that what people are saying is they're trying to counter how much people obsess over the tools, which is fair. I think people obsess too much over tools, but at the end of the day, tools do matter because it's not zero effort to learn a new tool. That being said, if you already got this offer and you're thinking about taking this job, you could learn a lot of great modeling techniques and a lot of great statistical stuff, which you can then just apply in Python. So if I were you and you're going to take this job, every time you learn something new in SaaS, learn how to apply it in Python as well. That's how I learned Python, because I actually learned Alteryx first, which is kind of like KNIME. It's a GUI-based tool that lets you manipulate data very easily, but I wanted to learn Python, and so I knew like what joins and unions and all that stuff were. So what I did is every time I did something in Alteryx, I would duplicate that same workflow in Python, and that's how I learned Python. Of course, Nestor. Animik Saha. Hi, I have the same question as Ambar, trying to change my career from tester to data analyst. What would be the ideal path to follow? So if you want to know the ideal path to follow, I have this data analyst full roadmap, which is one of my best videos, I think. Analyst full roadmap, and has all the information you need in order to become a data analyst, like what path you should take and everything. I got my JPM. I recently got my first job as a data analyst. The company's consulting firm specialized in data visualizations. Do you see it will be a good field to grow in the next couple of years? Is that a good position? Thanks. I think it's a great position to start off at. Data visualization is so. People are really like obsessing over things like modeling and data science and stuff like that, right? And the thing is, if you're talking about like big FANG corporations, like your Amazons, your Apples, like these types of companies, right? Companies that are built off of technology. Those guys are already, in the stratosphere when it comes to modeling and everything. But most other companies are still trying to figure out basic dashboarding and stuff. There's a surprising amount of basic dashboarding that can be accomplished at at most other companies that will bring a lot of business value, which at the end of the day, that's what our job is to do. Our job is to bring business value. And so I think that data visualization is a tremendous field to get into. That being said, I would keep upskilling if I were you, because while it's a great field to get into, the barrier for entry is lower than these things like modeling and stuff like that, where you need like a specialized degree or education, or you need to work a lot or something at it. So I would say a great job, amazing. Great place to start. Just make sure you keep upskilling. And that's what I would tell everyone. Make sure you keep upskilling, because the work that you do today, no matter what it is, right? Unless you're a lawyer or a doctor, honestly, like these jobs that require like really hard to get certifications, it can be outdated in 10 years. So make sure you're always upskilling. One of the best examples I've ever heard is bank managers. So in the US, a bank manager used to be a job that was highly respected and paid very, very well, because the bank manager would be the frontline employee that would approve loans for banks. And when I say recently, I mean like early 90s recently. Like these guys got paid a lot of money. But then what happened is banks realized that they could just stuff credit profiles into algorithms and get pretty solid ratings as to who is a good person to loan to and who's a bad person to loan to. And that job over 10 years, the bank manager, became it's not a glorious job anymore, and it's not a job that's strenuous enough to demand a high pay anymore. So I would say with any job you get, no matter what it is, always continue to upskill, because technology is always out there, and it's always, we never know where the technology is going to be in 10 years. So that's just a little bit of some information on that. Sai Xiam, what are your thoughts on low-code tools like Nime? I think they're a tremendous way to get started in the industry. I would learn how to code only because a lot of data pipelines are built using coding. But I started off on Alteryx, which is basically a paid version of Nime. So it's a paid version that is easier to use. How much SQL do I need to know? So I posted a SQL course right over here, right below your question, Bacone. So check that out, and that'll give you all the SQL you need to know. Morgan Mitchell, taking a boot camp and interested in knowing what types of projects you'd recommend to boost the chance of a job, like to be in security, predictive, big data. I think that, so I always tell people that, in my opinion, the best projects are the ones you're very interested in. And I have a video where I talk about this with Nick Singh, who is a really great guy in the data science teaching space. Where is it? Probably higher up. Let's see. Control F. Yeah, this one over here. So I would highly recommend this video where I talk to Nick Singh, who is really great at teaching how this stuff works out. And we talk about what are some good projects. I recommend anything that you're particularly interested in. So for example, I always tell people I do projects on automobiles and cars because that's what I'm very interested in. Those projects are the ones that are the most interesting to talk about in a interview, and this is what I recommend. What did I miss? Okay. How much modeling do you do? I do an okay amount. It's definitely the minority of my job. Farzan Khan, I was struggling to find a job, but the internship helped me get a full-time role as a business analyst, and it was 2 years ago in Bangalore. Would recommend keep looking for internships aside from a full-time role. Yeah, definitely good advice. That's how I got started in the industry. I started off as an internship and then went up to a full-time job. Thanks for answering my queue. I figured having an internship would help more in the job search. There is always a chance the internship could turn into a job. I'm 33, feeling too old sometimes. No such thing as too old. No such thing as too old. And definitely if you're 33, you're definitely not too old. But I totally get you, I can understand the feeling. NIME is definitely underrated. Yeah. That being said, people still use coding for everything. So I would just keep that in mind. When it comes to SQL, most of the times I will be taking data from the warehouse and start querying it only, right? Yeah, usually. NIME is awesome, and there's so many community templates to learn from. 100%. So Shivendu, I actually posted a data analyst roadmap right over here, so feel free to go check that out. Oh, Kelly is right. No such thing as too old. So, trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Luis Sosa. Nice. Do you think companies still value my PhD? So let me tell you, on our team at Nordstrom, we have at least 2 PhDs. No, we have 3 to 4 PhDs. Only one of them is one I would call like directly related to like data science. What happens is 2 of them at least. No, we have like 4 PhDs. Yeah. We have a ton of PhDs on our team. They're all data scientists. I think 2 or 3 of them went to a certain boot camp. I need to go get the name of this boot camp because I get this question every once in a while. I'll go get the name from them. But 2 or 3 of them went to this boot camp, which is specifically designed for people with advanced degrees like PhDs to break into corporate. So they wanted to, one of them at least I know, wanted to get into teaching and then saw just how competitive it is right now. Like getting into teaching, getting into like a professorship is like, it's so hard. It's so competitive right now. But yeah, so they did this boot camp and it prepared them, and it was a boot camp specifically made for people with PhDs to get them into corporate. So 100%, and be on the lookout for boot camps like that that are made for PhD people. I highly recommend checking that out. Francis Okoye, great to see you. Do you suggest .NET, C# and SQL or no SQL, or would you suggest something else? .NET and C#, most data analysts will never touch that kind of stuff. I say Python, SQL, and a BI tool like Tableau is usually what I recommend. Abigail Tovar, just practice most of the things like subqueries, joins, windows, creating a table, altering things in the table. Yes, 100%. That's exactly how I learned, honestly. I was lucky enough to have a job where I could like practice on a corporate database, but you could always just make your own database. And in that SQL course I posted, I give you guys a database that you can practice on. So all the tools are available on my channel, quite honestly. Most tutorials you could ask for, I have them on my channel right now. So just as a heads up. Abigail Tovar. Oh, thank you so much for answering all these questions, Abigail. Great to see you. It's really easy for your data visualization, but if you provide valuable insights to your data, that's key. It's important to have a solid analysis, not just pretty graphs. 100%. Should I put Kaggle title on my resume? Yeah, why not? As long as it's a real title, I don't say why not. And Kaggle is something that a lot of people know about. Do something where you just scrape the data, then clean it and analyze it using exploratory data analysis, do data visualization. Yep, 100%. That's exactly what I do. Jet, great to see you. Ashmit Sharma. Where do you live? Seattle right now. Abigail Tovar, you really don't need ML for data analysts, but you don't need to know. But if you don't know SQL, it's a must for data analysts. 100%. I would say with machine learning, have a basic knowledge of the functionality of machine learning, how it works at a really high level. That's very useful because if you're a data analyst, there's a decent chance you'll be working with data scientists as well. And having that knowledge will help you make better conversation with them and understand what they're saying a lot better. All right, I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. I'm just going through Abigail's answers. These are great answers, Abigail. Thank you so much for helping out. I have a case study interview coming up next week as well. Wondering what types of ways I can impress the company. They're all in health tech and do AI. Okay, so if you have a case study interview coming up next week, go to YouTube and type in Bain case interview. There is one of the, Bain case interview. This is one of the best videos on case interviews. It's for consulting, but the basic logic of it is tremendous. So at Abigail. The basic logic of it is amazing. And I highly recommend watching this video over here. It's a great way to start preparing. As far as what else you need to know, make sure with case interviews, make sure you have a framework to solve problems, like a very structured framework to solve problems. That's usually what they're looking for in a case interview. So some kind of thing like the STAR method or something of solving problems. Make sure you have that like memorized, and make sure you make it very clear to your interviewer that you're using that method. On top of that, I would also say, go ahead and learn as much as you can about the company and the industry, because there are specific things that you might want to keep track of in an industry that change from industry to industry. So make sure you have all of that information. And for anyone that hasn't already, make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. It keeps the channel growing and going, and makes us it'll make us bigger than one of the biggest data analyst channels on YouTube. Also, guys, I want to make an announcement. I have a video hopefully coming out tomorrow. So I recorded myself for 8 hours, the full workday from 9 to 5 for the last 3 days, right? And I finally got a good recording yesterday. So I recorded myself for 8 hours, and I'm going to do a time lapse where I comment over what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so you can have the most realistic day in the life of a data analyst video on YouTube, where I literally record myself for 8 hours. Now, of course, I'm going to blur out the screen and stuff because I can't show you guys like data, obviously, but the high level of like what I do, like I'm working with SQL over here, I'm working with Python over here, I'm doing this basic thing over here, stakeholder wanted this basic thing over here. I'm going to give you guys the most realistic day in the life of a data analyst video on YouTube, because I literally recorded myself for 8 hours. So that's coming out hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully by tomorrow. I'm going to be working on it tonight. So just as a suggestion. Does this live stream get posted? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Abigail Tavar, thanks so much for your work on your channel. I've learned so much. Oh, hey, you're at UT Austin. Cool. That's awesome. I'm from Texas too. UT Austin, amazing school. Amazing school. And you're what? What do you do at UT Austin? Are you CS? Let's see. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. How much modeling do you do in your professional career? Yeah, not too much, I would say. Data analysis versus data engineering, your thoughts, which is more interesting? Data engineers get paid way more money. So between the four major careers you can have in the analytics space, between like a BI person, data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer, data engineers get paid the most money on average. Data scientists are very competitive. I'd say like between the data scientist and the data engineer, I'd say it's like spitting distance of like who gets paid more. But like data engineers usually get paid more. But I would say that a data engineer is a job where you'll never be looking for a job. The world needs so many of those guys right now. Data analyst, data scientist, BI. Those are jobs that a company does not necessarily strictly need. There are more than enough jobs to go around in those fields, but a data engineer is like, that job is not going anywhere, and they get paid a lot of money. So I would say beyond that, look at the work. I personally don't want to be a data engineer. Working in the back end and working in servers and working so far away from the business is just not something that interests me. That's another thing with a data engineer. You usually work pretty far away from the business, unless you're working at a startup or something. All right, let's see what we got over here. Do you work from home? Yes, I do. Comp sci, nice. Dude, UT's comp sci program is dope. Really, really good. What else do we have? Thank you so much, Ashish. Great to hear from you. I've heard a lot about Bain. They have the hardest interviews in consulting. Yeah. Bain is really, really difficult. I mean, it probably is McKinsey, because of all the consulting firms, I think McKinsey is like definitively the best one, or is definitively the most prestigious one because of how difficult it is to get into. But I could see Bain having the hardest ones too. All right. Oh, wow. We have a lot of questions over here. All right, guys. So I have to leave in 10 minutes. So I'm going to start skipping through questions because there's no way I could get through all of these questions. If you want me to answer your question directly, usually people I recognize. Oh, hey, Paula, it's great to see you again. Yes. People that come often, I usually respond to them first, as much as I can. And obviously, if you send a super chat, I'll respond to your question immediately because you're helping very, very directly support the channel. Yes, 69,700. Great job, guys. Let's see if we can get 300 people in the next 10 minutes. Make sure you keep subscribing. All right. If you are evaluating a candidate for a data analyst position on your team, I am right now actually, what would you want to see on their project portfolio? Do candidates need to make it clear they're solving a business problem? Yes. And a business problem, see, when we say business problem, right, all we mean is that do you have a clear objective in your project, right? The business problem, for example, like say you're studying like basketball data, like NBA data, right? Your business objective could literally be, I want to predict which players are going to be most injury prone in the next year. That's a business problem. Like, you're not making any money off of it or anything, but the objective is very clear and understandable. And I would say it's not the most important thing on the project, but it's something I would look much more highly on a candidate who does that, because the thing is, with technical people, I'd say one of the biggest problems with technical people, right? It's not their skills, quite honestly. It's the fact that a lot of technical people don't understand that business value is the number one metric by which most people, like, you know, drive value for the business. You know, like it's the number one most important thing. What are you doing for the business to help the business? That's and it's a really easy thing to forget the more technical you get, because technical people kind of just like doing things. You know, I'm very much like this, you know? So I would say I would look a lot more seriously at someone who was able to very clearly explain their their business reasoning for doing something. Yes, O'Kelly, 100%. Again, yeah, it's age is very much just a number in this field, you know? I think that if you want to get started in something, just do it, you know? Your life is yours to own. If you want to do something, just do it, you know? Something like this, you know, where it's like, this is only good for you, you know? This is a great career. What's the future for data analyst roles? I actually have a video coming out in the future where I'm going to be talking about this more in depth with people who are more experienced than me. So be on the lookout for that. So Marcelo Silva, I have a video roadmap. Type in roadmap on my YouTube channel and you'll see a video for that where I talk about how much skill you need. All right, what else do we got? How does a non-technical start in data analytics? Hey, Jake Boucher, great to see you. So Vaidik, check out my channel and then go to Roadmap for a Data Analyst right over here. It's one of my more recent videos. We're at 67,000 views. Let's see if we can pump that up to over 100,000 right over here. Roadmap to become a data analyst. Or a large number of the questions. Roadmap to become a data analyst. Probably a large number of the questions asked on these live streams can be answered with this roadmap video, because in this roadmap video, I also link a lot of my other videos. So just as a heads up, let's see. So guys, just as a heads up, I'm kind of just skipping around answering random questions because I have about 8 minutes left and there's no way I could get through all the questions. So I do apologize. Again, Super Chat, I answer those questions immediately. And people who I see regularly. So Francis over here. Francis is here always on these live streams. Love it. When you see a data set, your mind start running wild, then you know you are ready. True. Darko, great to see you again. What are some SQL courses you would recommend? I have watched your SQL, but I'd like to keep expanding on that. Thanks. So I have about to 70,000. Thank you so much. So I have a link to DataCamp in, where's my DataCamp link? I need to go over here, right? So DataCamp has some great SQL courses. I would also recommend Kaggle's. Kaggle's are completely free. DataCamp, the first one is the first lesson in every course is free. So I'd recommend DataCamp's. That one's an affiliate link, by the way, just as a heads up. But I would recommend that one, and I would recommend Kaggle's. Kaggle's are completely free. So I'd do that one first. After that, go ahead and check out this DataCamp one. I was really good with SQL in school, and I have a bachelor's degree in IT, but my school did not tell us anything about what jobs, internships. What is a data engineer? So, okay, a data engineer is basically, so what happens is when data gets ingested into systems, right? A data engineer is the person who makes sure that the data is ingested correctly, is stored somewhere useful, and works by balancing the costs of storing data with the necessity of it to be available for data analysts and data scientists. So, for example, like people talk about cloud computing and how it's like it costs basically $0 to like do stuff these days. That's not true at all. Cloud computing is very freaking expensive. What cloud computing has done is it's made experimentation way cheaper than it's ever been, and the fixed costs associated with storing data are significantly lower than they used to be. So what I would say is a data engineer will make sure that a company doesn't spend too much money, but is also able to house its data, but is also able to provide insights to its or provide the data to its data analysts quickly and easily. They basically they serve up the data for the data analysts and the data scientists to like do their work. Long story short. Let's see. Zach in search of God. I just started getting into coding. I don't want to go back to college as a degree, the most important thing. Not at all. As long as if you have a degree, that's very helpful. I have a chemistry degree. No relation to my job right now or ever. And no one cares. No one cares about your degree after that first job, quite honestly. Like, they could not care less. So, I don't think you have to go back to college. How long did it take you to get interviews after starting the application process? So for my current Nordstrom job, it was a 3-month process. It was like a 3-month process. So I would say, like, what I would tell people is that the interview process can be anywhere from 3 to 6 months, like getting a new job. So whenever you want to get a new job, start applying 6 months in advance, because it can take, upwards of that just because of how slow companies are to respond. Any company that's not like an Amazon or a Microsoft or an Apple or something, like companies with those companies have like massive recruiting departments. Any company that's not like those massive companies, they might take a while to respond, just as a heads up. So I took about 3 months, I think. All right, let's see what else we got. Trying to see what other questions we have. We have about 4 minutes, so I can answer maybe 1 or 2 more questions. So I never did a master's degree. I only have a bachelor's degree, and I did it at Emory in Atlanta, Georgia. Great to hear. Hey, Kaushnav Roy, I'm a business analyst freshie coming from a mech background. What data warehousing concepts do I need to know? I have Power BI too. It's probably good to know some scripting language like Python or something. And you might be using tools like Del Boomi and stuff, or I mean, honestly, you'll probably be able to solve most of your problems with SQL, just as a heads up. So, all right, I think. Oh, just as a heads up, I don't speak Hindi. For anyone wondering, so when if people say anything in a language that's not English or Spanish, I won't understand what you're saying. All right, I think I can answer maybe one more question. So I have never worked on audio data, as a heads up. Okay, Ibrahim A. Would you recommend pursuing a business analyst path over a data analyst path? I would recommend a data analyst path because I think it's easier for a data analyst to become a BA. It's much harder for a BA to become a data analyst because you'll require more technical skills as a data analyst. I have an interview tomorrow, second stage with a group and individual case studies. Please give me some advice. So Ibrahim, I think it was Abigail who asked a similar question, and I would say go ahead and check out that Bain video I posted higher up in the chat. So type in Bain case interview. It's the top one over there. It's probably the best case interview video on YouTube. It's really, really freaking good. Outside of that, learn as much about the domain and learn as much about the company as you can. And most importantly, have some framework for answering your question. So for example, the STAR method, have that thing memorized like crazy, because when you do a case interview, the number one thing people are looking for, in my opinion, more than the solution, is does this person have a very structured way to, understand and analyze a problem. So Claro que sí. Hablo un poco español. But I haven't practiced in a while, so well, I mean, I guess I could practice and stuff, right? It's super cool. So like I'm in Seattle right now, right? So obviously, far fewer Latin people than I knew back in Dallas. But there's this Latin club that's literally 2 blocks away. That's just like always popping. It's awesome. And it's like a great way to just like if you want to like get into the Latin community in Seattle, great place to go. Meet people. Is there anything that college fresher can't become a data scientist in India, or is that kind of a myth? I think it depends. Are you like straight out of a bachelor's or straight out of a master's? So the funny thing is, every data scientist I've talked to is like, you don't need a master's to become a data scientist. That being said, almost everyone that said that to me has a master's degree. So I honestly don't know what to think about that. I think you would be hard pressed to get a data scientist job right out of a bachelor's degree without any prior experience. Or when I say that, like one of those high paying data scientist jobs, I think you would be hard pressed to find that kind of stuff. That being said, out of a master's, there's no reason you can't get a data scientist job, in my opinion. All right, so probably answer like one more question. So Lukman Hakim, is Google and IBM Data Analyst certificate good for a portfolio? Yeah, they're probably the best ones out there, in my opinion. Oh, hey, Shashank, great to see you. Hey, Shashank here. Could you please be guru in my life for data science journey? Yeah, I just keep attending these live streams. I do these every Thursday, I believe. Yeah, every Thursday I do them. And yeah, just answer whatever questions come up. There are always more questions being asked that I'm able to answer, just as a heads up. I actually, I think it might be time to bring in a moderator or something. We'll see. But yeah, your LinkedIn profile, it's just my name. So just type my name in on LinkedIn and you'll find my profile. All right, guys. So I'm trying to see if there's any other questions that might come in. I think we're good. All right. So guys, I am going to head out right now. I have a meeting at 9 o'clock. As you guys can see, it is 8:51 right now. Link to your LinkedIn. Well, you can just type in my name on LinkedIn. Let's see. But I can also share a link to my LinkedIn. Oh, cool. We have 4,000 followers over there. Trying to see how much higher we can get this number to. Have you made a decision on the mentorship program? So I'm doing a pilot on the mentorship program with my Patreons right now. With my so anyone that's on my Discord right now, which is like through Patreon or YouTube membership, you get that Discord. I'm doing a pilot right now, and based on how that pilot goes, I'll move forward with the mentorship program. Basically, because I want to know like if I'm going to charge people for it, I just want to make sure like I do it correctly. Hopefully I'll be able to test it out in a week and release the mentorship in like 2 weeks or so. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. Love to see all of you guys over here. And I think this actually might be, yeah, we have 93 people watching this live stream. So these live streams are getting more popular. This is awesome, guys. Where is it? Yeah, we were at 93 people watching this live stream. So thank you guys so much for joining. I love the support. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. I see we have 81 likes, but over 90 people watching it. So make sure you like the video because it's great for the YouTube algorithm, and it keeps pushing this out to more and more people. And make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 70,000. We're actually trying to get to 150,000 by the end of the year. I do these every Thursday, and just as a heads up, just because I didn't answer your question doesn't mean I was ignoring you. I can't get to every single question on these live streams, so I will be doing these every Thursday, and I hope to see you guys in the future.